AWS networking looks very confusing for beginners. VPC, public subnet, private subnet, route table, internet gateway, and so on. Most people memorize these terms without actually understanding them. So in this video series, I'm going to explain AWS VPC in the simplest possible way using real life example and a practical demo. This is part 1, and in part 2 we will understand NAT Gateway, security group, and NACL and complete secure AWS architecture. By the end of these two videos, AWS networking will finally make sense. So, what is AWS VPC? VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud, and it is private isolated network inside AWS. So, why do we need VPC? Imagine hosting your database directly on the internet. So, anyone could potentially attack it. That's really dangerous. So, AWS allows us to separate resources into public and private network. So front-end servers stay public and the database stay private. This is where a VPC becomes extremely important. The core components of VPC. The CIDR block. The CIDR blocks defines the IP address range for our VPC. Think of it like allocating house numbers inside our apartment complex. And we have subnet, internet gateway, route table, NAT gateway, and security group, and NACL. We'll explain this each with the example. So think it of like this big city is your AWS cloud, the whole city. So our VPC is like an apartment compound inside the AWS cloud. So this is our apartment compound, which is a VPC in this example. And inside our VPC, we will have a public subnet and a private subnet. So public subnet resources can communicate with the internet directly, and the private subnet resources are hidden from the internet. So the best practice is keeping databases in our private subnet. And we will have a question now. How does the internet traffic comes into our VPC? So that's where the internet gateway comes in. The internet gateway acts like the main entrance connecting our VPC to the internet. But internet gateway is not alone enough. AWS still needs instruction on where traffic should go. That instruction system is called route table. Think it of like Google Maps for network traffic. So the route table decides where network traffic should travel. If internet traffic comes, route table checks whether it should go to the internet gateway. Let's have a quick demo by creating our VPC in our region and creating the subnet and adding the route in our route table and create a EC2 where a public IP will there and we can access with that. So let's create the VPC quickly, and we should define the CIDR block. So basically we will define it like it can have /16 or 24 or 28. This is actually calculated with this calculation. So the CIDRs is basically calculated by this formula, that is 2 power 32 minus our CIDR number. So if it is a 16, so 32 minus 16, it is 16. So 2 power 16, it is totally we will have 65,536 IPs with this CIDR block. So if it is 24, we will be having 256 IPs inside our subnet, and if it is 28, we will have total 16 IPs. So always AWS reserves 5 IP address default. So we will have 251 IPs if it is going to be a 24 CIDR. So always keep it in mind. Now we will just do 24. So we will be having 256 IPs. So in that 5 will be allocated for the AWS. So totally we can create up to 251 IPs. So I'm creating the VPC here. So let's create the subnet now. Create subnet, and we can choose our VPC that is created, and we will name it. So if we want to choose any specific availability zone, we can choose it, or we can just leave it. It will take it automatically. And the CIDR block should be that is VPC CIDR block. So we need to give the CIDR for the subnet. So here if we give /16, it won't allow it, because in our VPC we have given 24. So it won't allow us to create these many IPs for this CIDR block. Either we can give 24 or we can give 28. So only those much of IPs can be allocated for this subnet. So here I will do create subnet. So the subnet is created, and if you check on the route table, a default route has been created for our VPC, that is a techarivu, that is created default. And if you check this route table, still we will have this a route table route origin, but we need to create our own route for routing the traffic. So for that, I will quickly create the internet gateway, and once the internet gateway is created, we need to attach this mobile with our VPC. So once it is been attached on our internet gateway, the status will show as attached, and on the route table we need to just click on this and edit rules and add route. Here we need to expose it publicly and choose internet gateway, and we can choose our internet gateway that we have created. So once it is done, we will be good to have create a EC2. So we will be quickly launching our EC2 here. I will name it as a VPC demo server, and it can be a AMI can be the Linux one, and instance type is t3.micro, and on the key pair I will choose my existing one. And here is the main part. On the network setting, it is taking the default VPC that exists on the AWS. So just click on the edit and choose our VPC that we have created now. And for that VPC, we have a default subnet, the subnet attached to it. So that will be automatically taken by it. And here you can see that auto assign public IP. So this is very important on the VPC. So if we choose disable the auto assign public IP on the VPC subnet that we have created, then that is considered as a private subnet. So if we enable it by default, it will be created as a public subnet. So we can quickly go to our subnet, and on this one you can see that edit action, and you can see that auto assign public IPv4 address as no. So we can quickly edit our subnet setting, and we can auto assign public IP setting. We can just enable it and do a save. If we do so, then it is considered as a public subnet. So I will just refresh page. So now it is showing us enabled, and on the we need to create a security group for our new VPC. We can create it, and it will be having the default inbound security group rule as SSH as 22. So only we are allowing it for the demo purpose, and the configuration storage as before as always. So I'm just quickly launching our instance. It is initializing. Once it is available, let's quickly connect to our instance and check if we could access the public IP. So one thing you could note here is we will be having a public IP address as a random one. So this is all because we have given a CIDR of 10.0.0.0.0/24, but still it is assigning a random IP address here. This private IP works only inside our VPC. So this is the random one which AWS auto assigns our public IP. So it can be any public internet routable IP. This is like our house number inside our gated apartment, and this public IP is the apartment's public delivery address visible on the internet. So the traffic will come like from the internet to the public IP, and from the public IP it will go to the internet gateway, and then it will reach our private IP for our EC2. So the instance state is running. Let's quickly try to connect it using our git bash. So on the D folder, AWS ls-ltr. Okay, I am having my key pair here, ssh-i techarivu ec2-user, the public IP. So we could able to log into our EC2 for the VPC that we have created. Now if you check the host name here, you could see that IP 10.10-o-o-163. So that is nothing but our private IP address. So this is how we will do create a VPC and create a subnet for our VPC, create a internet gateway and attach to our route table, and we can create our EC2 for our created VPC. So now you understand the foundation of AWS networking, but here is the interesting part. How do private servers access the internet securely? How do companies protect databases from the hackers? What are NAT gateways? What are security groups and NACLs? In part 2, we will build a real secure AWS architecture and understand complete traffic flow. So subscribe to techarivu and continue this AWS networking series. Don't skip part 2. That's where AWS networking becomes really interesting.